Today's cocktail is the Iowa City Oatmeal Cookie. This cocktail hails from an Irish pub in Iowa City, Iowa, and was found on the internet. The recipe is 1/2 fluid ounce butterscotch schnapps, 1/2 fluid ounce Irish cream liqueur, 1/2 fluid ounce cinnamon schnapps, and 1/4 cup of crushed ice. Shake the butterscotch schnapps, Irish liqueur, cinnamon schnapps in a cocktail shaker with crushed ice. Strain into a small glass and enjoy. Okay, today we're going to go back in the time machine and we're going to talk about April 2007, my trip to the Iowa Speedway in Newton, Iowa. Let's see. Let's do a little bit of background here. Newton, Iowa is 30 miles east of Des Moines, and for most of the 20th century, it was the corporate headquarters and manufacturing location for Maytag Corporation.
Ooh, get your washers and dryers.
Yeah, so in 2001, they decided to, for cost reasons, to move a lot of that work to Mexico. So they started downsizing. And in 2006, they were bought out by Whirlpool. And when that happened, they elected to close down that corporate location, both the headquarters and remove all the manufacturing. So by the fall of 2007, Maytag was gone from Newton, and Newton's a relatively small town and it suffered pretty bad. One of the things they did to try to grow the town was to build this racetrack there. And the track opened in September 2006, and I drove it on in April 2007. So the track was basically brand new at the time that we drove on it. From the track website, it's known as the fastest short track on the planet due to the speed of the IndyCar drivers when they race there. The IndyCar guys exceed 186 miles an hour.
Yikes.
Yeah.
So it's like a track. It's not like on the old grounds or anything. It's
it's an oval, but it's 7/8 of a mile. It's not a full mile around. So it's unique in Iowa because it's the only track that's owned and raced by NASCAR. It was designed by Rusty Wallace, who's a former NASCAR driver. It's 7/8 of a mile oval, and it's the only major professional sports venue in the state of Iowa.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's right. That makes sense. So it's only like college football.
Yes, Iowa's a college and minor league town, state. The banking on the front of the track is 10 degrees and 4 degrees on the backstretch. The road course configuration is 1.3 miles, and the track has hosted NASCAR, the Xfinity Series, the Truck Series, and the Modifieds. It's hosted IndyCar, it's hosted Grand Am, USAC, Indy Lights, F2000, and ARCA, plus us, amateur NASCAR sports racing guys.
So people are really coming out there to use this track.
Well, it's 30 miles from Des Moines, 60 or 70 from Iowa City.
Oh, then I guess it's
maybe not that far, but Des Moines is the population center of Iowa, and it's centrally located. It's not dead in the middle of the state, but it's on Interstate 80, and it's mostly in the middle-ish of the state. So relative to Iowa, it's a pretty good location. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch the video of me driving, and you're going to, if you see things, ask questions, and I'll try to answer them as best I can. Maybe I'll turn that down a little.
Oh, now I see.
Oh, shit.
I'm
cussing because I don't have my seatbelts buckled yet. That 5-point harness is, that's something.
It's like getting in those rock climbing things where you got to clutch all the belts and put all the things around.
Yeah, I'm going to turn this down because I don't know if the audio is going to be recorded in the... That'll be difficult to scrub out if it is.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, let me mute it all the way because I don't want to try to sync it later.
So, I was going to say, how do you know which way to go? But they've got people telling you which way to go.
Usually they tell you in the drive. So before we went out, there's a driver's meeting. Most tracks, tracks either only run clockwise or counterclockwise. and they will always tell you which way to enter the track when you leave the pits.
And you just drive in a big old circle like they do with the NASCAR?
No, this is a road course. You'll see.
Oh, okay.
So when we leave the pits, we go out onto the front straight and around the back, and then now we're down into the infield. So it's this left-hander, this big sweepy left-hander, and then it tightens down at the end.
Well, that's tight curve. Yeah.
I missed my apex there. And another tight left-hander, and then a right. And then another right. Because ultimately you do end up going in a circle, but we just add some curly cues to the middle of it.
Yeah, it's not like the big round circles.
Right. And so here we're about to go back out onto the oval, onto the front straight.
And I guess those are stands where people sit for big races. Okay.
And now we're back on the front straight, and I'm up on the banking. Start finish line, and here we go. Now this is I think this is my first time on an oval. No, because this is 2007. So I'd been on the oval in St. Louis by this point.
Okay.
I believe that was somewhere in 2006 I did that.
And are ovals more fun or less fun?
Ovals are terrifying. Ovals scare me. Because ovals have walls. A good road course, you know, it has walls, but the walls are either far away or only when you're driving in a straight line. But an oval, you get really close to that wall, and it'll get you if you're not careful.
Yeah, right. It's funny how they just sneak up on you.
Yeah, I've never done it, but the first time I went to Charlotte to watch people do HPDEs at the Charlotte Motor Speedway or Lowe's Speedway, whatever you want to call it. And that's what happened. A dude was up on the banking, and the car got away from him as he was coming down to the infield, and he hit the wall on the edge of the infield and fucked up his Mitsubishi.
Ouch.
Yeah, tore it the fuck up.
That hurts on the inside. Yeah, what car is this?
This is the old 240 you remember me having. Like the first one.
Got it.
Yeah, the original. The Stinger, as I call it.
Got it.
Now, I know it looks like I'm just driving around the track by myself, but trust me, there are other cars out there with me. But because of the time it took me to buckle my seatbelts, I lost the whole pack.
Oh, okay.
So they're, and especially on a little short course like this, they're so far in front of me that they're basically behind me. But as you can see, I'm starting to reel in some of the slower ones now. Even though that first lap and a half, there was just nobody out there.
Yeah, because it looks like you're just out there by yourself.
No, here we go. I'm starting to reel in some folks up. I think this is one of the Volkswagens. Somebody. So the problem I have is my car was very well balanced and handles really well. So I was doing well in the infield, but then I only have 155 horsepower. So when I get out on the oval and I have to mash the pedal, it doesn't really go very fast.
Oh.
So what happens is I catch up with people in the infield section, and then they run away from me out on the oval. Because even the Volkswagens, if they're turbo Volkswagens, they've got more horsepower than I do.
Yeah. By
a wide margin. But here you see we got in the infield, and I immediately sucked this guy up.
Oh, there's the people.
I've got wider tires and grippier tires, and even though I have to drive home in this car, if I wreck it, I'm not out anything since it's paid for. I don't have to drive it on Monday.
Right.
I just have to get a bus ticket home, and I have to not die and then get a bus ticket home,
and then
get somebody to take me to the bus station.
Right.
Or actually, at this particular event, I had a coworker who was there in his Mustang, and in a pinch, I could have got a ride home with him in his big old diesel dually pickup truck.
God.
Man, that dude had an enclosed trailer with a microwave in it. They invited me over for lunch. His wife cooked some sloppy joes. They had chairs and shade and air conditioning. I'm like,
this is an event.
So I'm all up in this Corvette's ass, and the Corvette is an old dude, and he was not there to drive fast. He didn't want to break his Corvette.
Now, can you pass him, or is that against the rules?
So I was in Group 2 at this time. Group 1 and Group 2 go out on the track together, and we have very strict passing rules. We can only pass in the straightaways, and they sort of said, well, you can pass when you're on the oval, even though I made a point of not passing anybody in the corner. I would get, like, if I was on one of the straightaways, I'd go around. If I was actually in the bank, in the curve of the oval, I would wait. See how he he goes wide and
this is really the point
lets me by. But he had to really back off, of course, to let me by on the straightaway, because this is the area where the Corvette can just run away from me without a second thought.
Right. That's one kill.
I got that Mitsubishi earlier.
Oh, that's right. Oh, 2 kills.
I'm very proud of passing that Evo, because those things are fast.
Hey man, listen, when I'm running, it is the next mission. I will pass somebody. That's always the goal.
Yeah, that's why I quit running, because I couldn't pass enough people. I remember when I was in ROTC, we had a PT test one morning, and I went chasing after this dude, and I never caught him. And I ran a great time, but I never caught him. And I was like, wait, that's not supposed to happen.
Right.
Which was stupid of me, because I've never been a strong runner. But I was just, normally if I pick somebody to catch, usually I catch them.
Right. I usually wait till, I'm a few miles in and then start chasing somebody. But toward the finish,
okay, right there is where you went wrong. You said a few miles in. I will go on record as saying right now, I have never, ever in my life run further than 5 miles. And I only did that once. I can't imagine running for more than an hour. I just can't see it.
I did 5 miles last Saturday in a little 8K. Well,
yeah, but you're a runner.
Well, yeah.
Like, that's what you do.
And I was running with my run buddy, and it was just a little dinky neighborhood 8K, and I was still like, we're gonna sprint to the finish, and I can't let you beat me. Go. I'm a
soccer, basketball, baseball, softball guy. I don't.
I can't hit, pitch, throw, kick, so I had to do something that don't involve other things.
Until I took that PE class where the 5-mile run was my final exam, I had never run further than 3 miles.
Why would they make a 5-mile run a final exam? That's cruel.
It was at physical fitness training class.
Oh, I never took anything like that.
My sister took it. They had a different final, but my class, when we took it, our final exam was a 5-mile run. We had to run 5 miles in less than an hour, but we worked up to it the whole semester. I mean, we did cardio. We did 10 minutes cardio the first day of class, and he was like, "You need to extend your cardio every week because your final exam is a 5-mile run. You got to do it in less than an hour." And I don't think anybody failed. I mean, even the little slow girls from nursing made it in less than an hour.
I did. Oh, that's what it was, because I needed the PV requirement, and my advisor told me if I took, I guess, a personal health class, that was all the 2 credits or whatever that I needed.
Yeah, fuck that.
So I took,
I took health in high school. I wasn't going to take it again in college.
So I just sat right in that health class, and I'm like, what the hell are you going to tell me? We in college. What are you going to tell me about?
Actually, I could have clept out of PE altogether because of ROTC, but I needed, when I got late there in my tenure, I needed classes to fill up my schedule so I'd be full-time. So I took team sports, I took tennis, I took golf, I took fitness training. I took a lot of PE classes because I needed shit that I knew I could get an A in that wasn't going to eat up a lot of my brain power. Because them upper class engineering classes were hard, and I was fighting uphill because at one point my GPA was as low as 2.2. So I was fighting for money. See, you missed all that. You didn't know me doing all that stuff.
No, that was before
you met about to graduate me.
I met about to be done you.
Yeah, you missed the whole thing where I was skinny and I was in ROTC, and then I got out of ROTC and grew facial hair, and then I got fat. And then I failed all my classes, and then I started passing classes again. It was a whole, my college career was a whole process.
It sounds like it. Look, that is, or as the old folks say, that is quite the test.
So I'm chasing this Miata, and me and this Miata have history. But I'm chasing her, and she won't get the hell out of my way.
No,
not that she could. Huh?
And someone's in front of her, so she's not.
Yeah, another one of them damn Corvettes. Because, see, that's the thing with the Corvettes. Her Miata's got a roll cage in it. My car's got a roll cage in it. We came to drive. These fucking Corvette people, they came out there to look pretty in their Corvettes, and they're scared they're going to break something.
Right, because like you said, these cars, they got to drive home and drive to work.
Because the dude in the white one, his was automatic. I was so mad, but he was like 65 though. He was just touring around. But I came at the time. I was training. I thought I was still going to be a race car driver someday, so I was there to drive hard.
Yeah.
You know, hone my skills, so to speak. Every lap faster than the one before, but no, or the you know what I mean. Yeah, I said that right. I mean, it was a deal. I did not have a racing suit or racing shoes. I own a racing suit, but I wouldn't wear it because I was fat. And, it's a one piece. So to get one that would get around my stomach, I had to buy like the next larger size, so it was not flattering. But I had the suit, I had the shoes. I did not have the.
Is the suit made of some kind of material so that it doesn't like stuff you all up?
No. That's for motorcycles. Motorcycles and go-karts have the abrasion-resistant suit. A car racing suit is just fire-resistant.
Fire-resistant. Okay.
Yes, and mine was a single. Was mine a multi-layer? It was cotton. Mine was treated cotton, so that's not the highest level of fire rating, but the reality is those suits only give you seconds. Like the best professional racing car driver suits give you like 30 seconds maybe, because even though they don't combust, fire is hot, the heat still transmits through them, so you'll cook inside the suit. So yeah, the way you fight fire in a race car is A, don't catch on fire, B, get out of the car as quick as possible, C, put the fire out. And sometimes B and C can be the same thing.
Right.
Like my car has a bolt-in extinguisher, but professional racing drivers often have a built-in system where all they got to do is pull the switch and it douses the engine bay and the cockpit with fire retardant, foam, fire, aqueous gel, whatever. I don't know. I don't want to find out. Now you notice I've caught the Corvette again already.
Yay!
Yeah, because he's driving like Grandpa.
He out here on lunching on a leisurely day, sir. We have places to go.
I get it. If you got tires that cost $1,000 a set, you don't want to rub them off all on one day.
Not all on one day.
Especially if you've got to drive it back home. But I drove there in this car, and well, the tires on it are used, but they were ultra. I bought them used, so they were worn, and they had very little tread. Like I couldn't use them in the wet. They were great on dry surfaces, but in the rain they would get me, which is what happened at Road America. But that's a story for another time.
Right.
So how long have we been watching this?
I was going to ask you how much.
I forgot to time it. So this session should have been 20 minutes. It's 20 minutes per session, but NASA weekends are biased towards the professional race because in between us going out there and doing our track day, they actually have a racing series. So I'll read the schedule to you. 9 a.m. race group A warm-up. 9:20 a.m. race group B warm-up. 9:40 a.m. was HPDE 4, so those are the guys who can really drive fast. 10:05 was HPDE 3. They're more advanced than us. And then 10:25, what you're seeing now was HPD 1 and 2 group, because they combine 1 and 2 together. And the difference is Group 1 has an instructor in their car, and Group 2 drives without an instructor. So otherwise, it's the same rules for both. In 10:45, race Group A qualifying. 11:05, HPDE 4. 11:25 race group B qualifying. Some more HPDE, lunch at 12:35, and then at 1:25 was race group A, and 2:25 was race group B. Now what happens if there is a problem with the races or they get behind schedule, they will bump us in order to make sure the racers get their time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So our sessions, we were supposed to have 4 20-minute sessions per track day, but I've been at an event where we got bumped once, so we only got 3. And another event I was at, we didn't get bumped. Oh, I was changing my brake pads and I missed my whole session. I had some problem. Like, I am normally pretty good at changing brake pads.
But what had happened was?
Well, I had to change pads and rotors, and I was working in a dirt field, and my jack sunk down in the dirt. So then I had to have somebody help me jack the car back up off the ground and get a piece of plywood to put on it. It was just a whole thing. Plus, I had to bleed them. Like, I can change brake pads in 10 minutes, but to change pads and rotors on all 4 corners and bleed the brakes, it just took too much time.
Yeah.
And I didn't give myself enough of a head start because we had the classroom session instead of doing it the night before I left home or in the parking lot of the hotel.
Oh, so it looks like you're pulling back in?
We are done. We're pulling back in, and usually at this point I turn the heat on full blast, or the defroster actually.
Why is that?
That is to help the car cool down. Although this car doesn't overheat. That was the one thing I loved about this car, is that I could run it wide open on a track for 20, 30 minutes at a time and it wouldn't overheat. It would never get beyond its normal operating range, which was great. But just to be sure, I always turn on the defrost full blast and bleed as much heat out of the system as I can on my cool down lap.
Got it.
And I'm pulling in and I'm gonna park all by my lonesome because I wasn't with the car club and I didn't have any friends. So I'm parking in between the 2 race trailers here. Dudes got real money, not like me.
I mean, yeah, because these trailers look for real.
So that's an HPDE session at Iowa Speedway in Newton, Iowa. Taking the steering wheel off, putting it on the desk. What's that?
You just pop the steering wheel off?
Yeah, I got a quick release.
You have a different steering wheel to drive regular with?
No.
Oh.
It's the steering wheel. I replaced the original steering wheel, and that's my steering wheel.
Oh, okay.
Idea being, if I need to leave the car in a hurry, because I got all those belts and stuff, and I'm not skinny. If I need to leave the car in a hurry, and the seat, at that point the seat no longer slid. I had the seat locked in place, so that would facilitate me leaving the car in a hurry. Because remember, I got the roll cage bar there too.
Right.
So I got to open the door, pop the steering wheel out, and sort of dive over the edge of the cage.
So this is just some extra footage, the footage you got?
This is either the race group or the HPDE. Let me see. I believe that's the race group. One of the race groups. Yeah, because that's a German car. Thunder Roadster. Yep, Thunder Roadster. Yeah, so that was group, doesn't say on here. I have a flyer that I have from it. Oh, I guess I can show you that. So we're going to close the sharing window. And I found this. I was looking in the car. I was looking in the glove box of the race car, and I found this folded up in there. Oh, here's race group A. Race group A is American Iron. CMC, I don't know what that was. Maybe it was factory. Oh, Camaro Mustang Challenge. So American Iron is Camaros and Mustangs. And Camaro Mustang Challenge is Camaro and Mustangs also. But I think there was a difference. Thank you for watching Cocktails and Crankshafts. Please like, share, and subscribe, and be sure to hit the bell icon. And we'll see you soon.